Spencer Rattler, the 2021 preseason Heisman favorite and projected #1 overall pick. What happened to him? Why did he have such a bad year? And what exactly went wrong? We're going to talk about it in today's video. Coming into the 2021 season, Spencer Rattler had a lot of high expectations. The year before, he had a great year. He threw for over 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 3,000 yards. He looked good, got better every single game. He did get benched at Texas, but after that game, he progressively got better. So with a lot of returning talent, there was high hopes for Spencer. What really went wrong though, if I had to guess, I would say most of it was mental. You gotta think, you're a Lincoln Riley quarterback. Lincoln Riley had Kyler Murray go #1 overall. He had Baker Mayfield go #1 overall. He had Jalen Hurts go way higher than anyone thought he was going to. So with that said, you can't be the first Lincoln Riley quarterback that doesn't do well, or it's going to look pretty bad on you. That's a lot of pressure on a young kid. And also, Caleb Williams was his backup. In the 2020 season, you had Chandler Morris backing up Spencer Rattler. Chandler Morris is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He can start for Oklahoma any day of the week. Great quarterback, new TCU transfer, all the best to Chandler Morris. But he's not Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was the #1 quarterback in his class as well. And Spencer Rattler, he sees what Caleb's doing in practice. He knows what's going on. He knows that Caleb is good and that if he messes up, Caleb can easily take his spot. Watching the games, it looked like Spencer was just trying to avoid injuries and then trying to make the big play. Anytime a defensive lineman got close to him, Spencer was going to take that sack. He was not going to get hurt. He was not going to risk his draft status. He just wanted to have the same production as last year. If he does that and if he stays healthy, he's going to be the first quarterback taken. Generational wealth. I'm sure that was on his mind. Obviously, I think Spencer wanted to win. I think he wanted to go far for Oklahoma and really represent himself and his teammates well. But at the end of the day, I think the pressure of not wanting to screw up led him to screw up. He took 9 sacks in his final 3 games. He was making bad decisions. He wasn't able to read a zone. And he was also only looking at his first option. Very rarely would he read and go through his progressions. If his first option wasn't there, he was either throwing it away or he was taking that sack every time. With that said, after transferring, I think he's going to do really well at South Carolina. There is no preseason hype. He's not projected to be the preseason Heisman favorite. He's not projected to be the first quarterback taken. I think he's going to go in there and play his game and perform at a very high level too. I think he's going to be much more comfortable. There is no NIL pressure. There's not a lot of hype behind him this year. I think he's going to go in there with a chip on his shoulder and try to prove everyone wrong instead of not trying to mess up, which I think is what got him last year. I'm very excited for Spencer. I think he can return to a 2020 Spencer Rattler, and I think he can perform really well. I'm excited for the Gamecocks. I think they're going to be a good team, and I think they can possibly surprise a lot of people. But going back and answering the question, I think Spencer's problems were most, if not all, mental. I think it was just too much for him at the time. I think he was overthinking. He took too many sacks. He wasn't going through his progressions. He didn't want to be the first quarterback that let Lincoln Riley down, that made him look bad. You got to think, if every other quarterback looked good in Lincoln Riley's system except Spencer, that's a Spencer issue. People aren't going to say, hey, Lincoln Riley, he's not developing quarterbacks. They're going to say, hey, Lincoln Riley's done this before. There's something going on with Spencer. That's a personal thing. That's not a coaching thing. And that's a lot of pressure. And again, I think that's what eventually got him in and made him have a bad 2021 season. But I'm excited for him for this year. I think he's going to do well, and I can't wait to see what he does at South Carolina.